everyone, and welcome back to Talk Brussels. Today, we're coming with an episode that I know a lot of you have been asking constantly that we do a part two or some type of follow up, which is dating in Brussels. You have to have some things in mind for this episode. First of all, Joanna and I have left the market. So we don't really know how the state of play of dating in Brussels looks like really right now. But we have an advantage, which is we have a lot of friends. And some of them still are in the market. And well, we are following the adventures they do and they go through dating. So we're going to cover that in the episode. I think one of the first things to talk about today will be how we see the state of play of the dating scene in the EU bubble. Still bad. But we know that the market is not looking easier than it used to. So we're going to, walk with you through that. We have also opened some questions and answers for people to inform us about how the situation is looking now in Brussels. And let's say that it's peculiar. It's really something interesting. So first things first, I think I would like to touch upon still dating apps because they are such a fantasy. So, well, if you've been following lately the political situation worldwide, you will know that now New York has a new city mayor, which we are all very happy about, which is Zoran Mamdani.
Yeah.
And I personally have followed him since January or February because he appeared on my Instagram super randomly. And I completely fell in love with the way of communication his team did. And so I was like, okay, I really like it. But the other day, something very surprising popped in the news, which was that he's married, okay? And yeah, he's married with a woman called Rama Duvayi. I'm really sorry if I am mispronouncing this name. I'm sorry. But apparently they met in Hinge, which, I met my fiance now in Hinge. So I know that it works. But the other day I was having a conversation with some friends about, how everything is looking and stuff. And they told me something incredible. Apparently, because I've always been a big defender of Hinge. I think it's a very complete platform because you have to create your profile in a way that if you're there just to lose your time, you don't really put that much effort. So you would go more into Tinder or Bumble because it's more like easy to swipe. But apparently, now people are using AI to communicate on those apps. Yes, so apparently. I was told this week, actually, that some people are using AI, so ChatGPT, to create responses for conversations they are not very invested on. Yeah. So I was like, okay, so maybe Zoran Mamdani and me are the last generation of people who found someone genuine and not dating a robot in Hinge and stuff. But that was super surprising. Honestly, I didn't even know that people went that far into delusion there. But apparently that is something that is happening in the EU bubble. So I wouldn't be surprised to see, I don't know, that development going somewhere very sketchy. But maybe also to touch upon it, Joanna. How is it feeling being out of the app market?
Well,
In your opinion.
the app market has been frustrating for me. So it feels very relaxing and I'm at peace, finally. Actually, I think I had few moments in my life where I realized how toxic the apps were becoming because of the superficial conversations, I think, at one point that I had there, and also the mixed type of people that I met. You really have to have abilities to understand if you're speaking with a sociopath, a psychopath, a normal person, whatever normal means nowadays. So in order, like, you have to review those things and then to see, is it going, can I go to meet this person in real life? Will I be okay? Will I get more trauma out of this experience? We don't know. I did. So even with my review skills, sometimes it was a bit risky. So it really feels like peace. Me, I always, and I think I mentioned in the last, in our first episode on dating in Brussels, I would have loved to meet someone in a social context, because I prefer to see already the person in front of me, to already analyze, because I analyze a lot, to already analyze the way they look, the way they speak, the way they move, the way they walk, the way, so many stuff. I mean, am I the only one analyzing these things? I'm not sure. Yeah. So apparently what I wished happened. So yeah, in the end, I met someone, my now boyfriend, in a social context. So it was easier for me to understand if I like that person, because I had time to analyze first and then to get into the action of conversation, etc. But you mentioned the mayor of New York. Just after his election, I just saw a reel on Instagram, and was saying, ladies, keep up swiping, because you never know when you are going to be the first lady of, I don't know, some big city or country. Or so I do believe, actually, your story was the reason I joined the apps, because I said, if she was successful, why not me? It was not me. But okay, maybe there are other ladies that, or like gentlemen, that they have this luck. So I'm really happy for that. But it didn't work for me, and I'm happy that it worked the way I wanted to in the end. So yeah, but it feels at peace, and I think somehow at one point the apps were stressing me in, like, I really have to be present there. I need to go back to see that message. Who was I speaking with the other time? Who was okay, I'll just take again back the conversation with this guy, or etc. So and for me, it didn't feel like secure that much. So I was a bit in a mood of, I need to be very attentive about everything. So I think it feels like a yeah, and I stopped using the apps way before I met my boyfriend. So it's I was happy that I made the decision rationally, without any, like, I was like, okay, you know what, this doesn't work for me. Because, at one point you really have to realize, does it work for me or not?
Yeah, you feel it.
Exactly.
You feel it.
So for me, it didn't. So I was really trying to do other activities and stuff, like whatever I liked, so that I could meet someone when I do what I want, or what I like. The apps were sometimes, I was feeling a bit pressure, like, okay, I'm on these apps, okay, I'll have to invest in it. Like, if I really opened it and I made the profile, etc., I do. But I never used AI. Yeah. I only used this. But okay, it worked using this, but
But you also have to be in the situation, I think, no? Because one thing I've seen, and actually that is a difference I've seen between the first episode that we recorded, and we were a bit younger than now, and I also start to see it around me, is that also depending on the moment of your life in which you are, you're going to get something from the apps or not. Meaning, when you're very young, or you're new to the institutions, to, wherever you're going to do your traineeship, because the majority of people start to do their traineeship in the European institutions or in consultancies, lobbies, whatever, you meet a lot of people. Yeah. Because trainees have this, like, circle, this social life that is sometimes even bigger than their professional life in the city. It's really like an Erasmus. So that really pushes you to meet new people. But I feel like as time passes and you start developing your life, or being more settled down, and you start having a normal job with normal people, the situations in which you can be exposed to single people who are available and who are also on the situation or on the mood to date or to flirt or whatever, super difficult. And I could see it because, for example, in my first job ever, I was the youngest, and not even the youngest on my on where I worked, but in general in the environment I was. So I was never surrounded by people who were eligible in a way, you know. So I could never have this moment of, oh yeah, let me see and meet this cute guy or what. No, it wasn't. It was non-existent. And then when we started to work together, everyone was married, or it was not the situation. You don't want to flirt. Don't flirt at work. Don't flirt at work, okay? It's not good. It's not cool. Not nice. That's it. No metas la polla donde tienes la olla. That we would say in Spanish. Moving next. No, but it's true because I mean it's weird. Honestly, it's weird. Like I think you should separate both. But well. And then what other situations you have? You know what I mean? It's like you work a lot because in the EU bubble you work a lot. The schedules that you have not always allow you to do parallel activities. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the only available time that you have, you want to dedicate to your friends who you already know. And you're not going to flirt with them. You know what I mean? So at some point, apps become a norm. I was completely against the apps. I really didn't like them. I tried Tinder first, then Bumble. I really hated the experience in both. First, because Tinder, I felt like you are really merchandise. Like it's like... and you're swiping and swiping and you never like reach anything really. And Mumble, because I honestly don't understand why women have to be the first one to talk. And because you have this limitation of one day, I know if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if that has changed, but it was one day. Mm-hmm. So if you connected with someone, you had one day to open the conversation, but you were the only one to be able to open. And if not, it disappeared, the connection. So it was so stressful. It was always against the clock, you know? So not cool. What I liked about Hinge was that it allowed you, first you have limited swipes per day. So limited swipes to the right, no? So connections that you can create. I think it was from 3 to 5. And so that makes you more picky. So you're not going to be like, ooh, let's swipe. And second, you have to take so much time to fill your profile of pictures, anecdotes, quizzes, and everything, you know, that in the end, I think people who are there, I mean, not everyone is serious about it because I also had my bad experiences there, but I think there is a higher chance to find someone that you can connect a deeper level, you know, because maybe you are, like it happened to my fiance, we responded to each other quizzes or questions and not only to this person looks amazing, let me swipe this photo, you know. So that was better, but it feels a bit crazy, this thing of the AI, honestly.
But just want to say that for me it didn't work necessarily this way. So not all that people put time and energy into replying and like really analyzing. There were only like few guys that did that, and I appreciated it, and we had like very interesting conversations, etc. So it was like an analysis and why did you say that, why, but not all the time. A lot of the times was just like superficial. So I'm glad it worked. So for some people it works, but I have friends that they are still on the apps, and like recently I can read something because I asked my friends, give me some insight,
give us the juice.
Yes, exactly. So for instance, what's happening at the moment in the market is that a guy, we don't name him, he wrote on the app he is 39, but actually in reality he was 42. And we were thinking like, why would you do that? It's only 3 years different. Were you not?
But it's your 30s instead of your 30s, so it's like sexy. I guess I don't know.
Okay, King, whatever. And apparently this guy was. He said it during the date. It was strange. I was like, why would you say it after? I mean, if you lie, just lie until the end. Or maybe, I don't know, but like it's a bit like strange. Like, what impression would I make if you tell me you are 39 and then in reality you're like, I'm 42, I have a kid. He doesn't have a kid, but just saying like, just a small detail, I'm also like this, but yeah, and apparently this guy, so he was 42 in reality, very, very nice, presentable guy, open-minded. Apparently, he looked emotionally available. And the thing is too available that he really wanted also physical touch and stuff, and my friend was not comfortable with that. So I think that sometimes, like, when you meet someone, don't jump on the person on the first date. Like, allow the space to connect with each other, to see if there is a connection the first time, or like just get to know each other, smell them, see if like with smell. Exactly. The smell is real. Like, you smell the other person, you see if your smell matches, like, your nose really likes what it smells, because it's like
it was the genetic, something with genetic code, that if you like the other person's smells, it means that you're a higher chance, you like both, to procreate.
Correct. So it's something genetical. That like, there are a lot of signals. So I think more presence in when you date, I think it should be an advice. Like, be attentive with whatever happens. Don't go to the next 3 levels because you want something. Okay, if you're there only to have sex, just say from the beginning, be a good person and just say, I'm looking for sex. But otherwise, just keep the pace. I mean, be aware of what's happening around you. So like with these little things. And by the way, after that date, he never give a message after. So he ghosted. Yeah, so they disappear. So the question of my friend was like, why do men lie about age? That was her striking question. Like, okay, he didn't text me back. Voila, it's not like I lost the love of my life, but it means that it's for the best. But why do they lie about the age?
I don't know. Maybe it's insecurity. Also, because was your friend way younger?
A bit. Yeah. But I mean, in her 30s, but yes, but first younger. Phase of the 30s.
Yes, but there you have it. Yeah. I think but that's fucked up in the sense that, for me, if you lie on the first date, which is the moment in which you have to give kind of the best impression for me and you to be again together at some other point, I mean, I'm sorry, but then I cannot trust you at all.
How can we build trust? Exactly.
Yeah, you're lying the most. First, I mean, it may seem, I have to say, it may seem a rather stupid thing to lie about, but not really, because I think age, okay, some people might tell me, well, not always, you can have different types of maturity and stuff, but age also defines very well the time in your life you're at. Meaning in Europe, okay, I know that in some other countries, no, but for example, in Europe, in some other countries of Europe, maybe not, but in Spain, when you are 25, 26, you are not looking for marriage. Okay. But if you are 30, you might. Which it seems like, okay, but from 26 to 30 is 4 years. Yeah, but it's 4 years that can make a lot of difference. So for example, if you're 39, I'm guessing a man, and you're single, maybe you're still looking into building a family. But if you're a bit into your 40s, maybe you have just passed the idea of building a family. Mm-hmm. So maybe he wanted to kind of give the wrong signal. So she would, like, it was a bait, like a clickbait type of thing. And she just took it. But it's horrific, because in a way you've been manipulated. For me, that's manipulation. Straight away. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, first of all, you lie to yourself when you do this. Yeah. I think you're not real. So my advice would be just be you. Whoever wants you for being you, that you win. I mean, you win to have someone that will really like you for your authenticity, not for whatever you want to portray. Yeah. So this was an experience from Hinge, but I have another one from another friend from Tinder. Tinder gets spicier. So she says this. Met a guy on Tinder and set a first date. He said he will be wearing a white shirt and black pants. I recognized his face from the photos, and after I introduced myself, I said, "But your shirt is beige and your pants are grey." We sat down. He asked what I would like to drink and went to the bar. As he was taking long, I looked towards the bar. He had left me there waiting and never came back.
No. Coward. It's just, oh my God. Yeah. Just end the date. Yeah. It's not that difficult. You don't owe me anything, but at least you owe me some respect.
Yeah.
Oh,
again, respect for himself. But okay, if you don't like the date, oh look, I understand. If you don't like the date, you just say, you know what?
I'm not feeling anything.
Yes. I feel bad, or like I am sick. I don't know. I just suddenly feel sick, but just face it. Why is it that hard to face the reality? Like,
no, honestly, because in the past there was one thing that I'm a bit sad that we missed from the past, or that we have lost, which was the art of conquering. You know, a bit like, how do you say this? It was the flirting, the approaching, the get to know, the getting used to each other's presence. You know, it was something that in our grandmas, grandpas, even parents' generation was very normal. Like, people didn't meet typically and went full on. They would meet and then they would start seeing each other, maybe as friends, maybe as something else, but they both knew that was the intention. But nowadays, there is all this freedom that is taken as liberty. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, you can be free, but you have to respect me in your freedom. Because if not, what are we doing here? And it's like, dude, I understand you don't like me. You didn't expect what I was. But just as a matter of having lost my time, okay? Because I always, like your friend, she also went to the fucking restaurant. She also put the effort, the energy, the excitement. The minimum you can do as a human being is to tell me, look, I actually am not as attracted as I thought. I don't think we click. I don't know, call it X. But don't just disappear. Yeah. It's nuts that we are normalizing this.
Exactly.
It's really crazy.
Yeah. Just this man should go to jail.
Can you imagine? In one of the questions that we did to our public, it was very funny because, I mean, in this case, it happened to a guy. So we are changing here roles a bit. And so he was telling me that he went on this date and it went well. And then he went on a second date with the same person. And the person, I mean, he told me that the date was not even that good. You know, like he could see that there was not going to be a third date. It's that type of situation. But apparently the woman gave him the keys of her apartment.
This woman should go with that man to jail as well.
No, but honestly, if I had been him, I would have been like, do you want me to also pay part of your rent or something? I mean, what are you expecting from me? And so, of course, he was telling me, like, of course, as you can imagine, there was no third date.
Someone got too excited.
Oh my God. But I mean, there is, as Jen say, it was cringy. Okay. It was cringy. Like, I've never been in that situation. I have to say that. I felt a bit for the guy. But so you can see how the market is in Brussels, guys and girls, and it's complicated.
This reminds me at the moment I met my boyfriend. I think I was used to this, how the market works in Brussels. And I think at the first few dates, I was pushing for more. And he was like, chill, because I really understand this connection. It's what I would really like. So I don't want to rush anything. And I was like, but this is how we do it, no? This is how we do it. And he's like, no, I don't do it like this. And I was like, okay, strange, but I'll try to do it like you. And that was the best. Like, just to take it easy and not jump to a conclusion, not jump to things. Like, just get your time to know the person. Like, if you really are you want to invest something with someone, or like if you really want a relationship, as I wanted actually, but I was so used to this fast pace or to
The games.
yes, exactly, and I was portraying into this, and he was not having it, and I was like, Okay, maybe I need to see this differently myself actually, and it worked for the best, but yeah.
But that's good. But that's a bit, I think that's how it feels. Sometimes some people tell, I mean, some people, my mom used to tell me that when you find the right person, it is easy. And I never understood because, of course, I never had it easy. Never with any person that I had loved or had a relationship with or whatever. It never really felt easy, you know, until I met my fiance. And I remember that I was a bit in my head, and we've talked about it many times, that, you know, at first you self boycott a bit also because you're not used to the healthy relationship type of guy. And so it feels very refreshing, but very terrifying at first when you're used to nowadays perspective of relationships and connections. When you find someone pure, you know, pure in the sense of not in the moral sense, but pure in the intentions, in the I want to know you because I like you, because I think we have potential, because I want to invest my time and energy into you, we freak out. We think, okay, where is the scam in this game? Because we're so used to games. And I think that part of it is thanks to the apps, honestly, because I think the apps made it easy to enter in a market in which we are exchangeable produce a bit, you know, like, yeah, I like it, no, I like it, and you disappear, and then you ghost and stuff like that. And I think we missed a bit this real connection in between humans. And I think we have to just unlearn patterns and behaviors. And in Brussels, which is also, as we touched upon in the first episode, is a very delicate city because you work where you also hang out with people. Everything is very, very interconnected. Everyone knows everyone. You have to pay attention of what you do and how you do it. I think it's a place where toxicity can elevate, you know, very easily.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel very sad to see that things are not only not improving, but are worsening. I'm sorry, I'm going back to the AI because it really it had me in shocked. I was like, okay, so now it's even worse. But yeah, and also I think that another thing that we have in Brussels, and I don't know if you think about it the same way, which adds a level of like not hardship, but yes, hardship into meeting people, is coming from different cultures and nationalities. Because we all play this, oh, we are Europe. Yes, no, we are different cultures. Yeah. And we come from different backgrounds. And sometimes we don't know how to read or interpret things that for some people in their culture are super normal. But from our perspective, it's so not normal. For instance, paying on the first date. Who pays on the first date? And I know that some people are gonna say, "Come on." No, but seriously, this is a thing. In Spain, in general, I'm going to put my hand there. In general, in Spain, women offer also to pay in the first date. It's very normalized. We have this tendency to split in Spain. It's very normal. I don't know why, but we don't feel offended when a guy doesn't pay for our first date. We feel offended when they don't offer to at least share. Okay? But I have heard a lot of my friends who were not Spanish but had gone into a date with a Spanish guy and were very offended because the guy didn't pay or offered to pay in split. And I was like, wow, you maybe missed someone great, because that's cultural. Yeah. So I don't know, how is it in Romania?
In Romania, usually the guy pays. But even with this cultural habit, my mom, I mean, she raising me alone, being a very independent and strong woman, she really taught me that I don't have to wait for any guy necessarily to pay for me, or like, I don't know. So, yeah, to expect that. Maybe the guy doesn't have enough money, but he's a good guy, you know? So it's like, okay, let's split, it's fine. So I think I got used with the idea that, yeah, I don't mind paying. But I feel, for me, I remember I'm jumping a bit to another thing. I remember 50 Cent saying in a reel on Instagram, a TV host was asking him, so who's gonna pay for the first date? And he was like, whoever had the idea. And I'm like, okay, man, I don't agree necessarily. Nowadays, I feel like even though I'm a strong, independent woman, I feel like I need sometimes from the men that I'm seeing. I want I want him to, like, to take care of me. Even though I have the money, I feel this as a gesture of, it's fine, I got it. I don't mind paying also for the next dinner, or I don't mind splitting. But sometimes I like, there are little gestures for me that they show me that he cares about me somehow, but not necessarily paying the only the dinner, or like, I don't know, buy me a mandarin from the shop, and I knew that you thought about me, something like that. But with the dinner, I don't mind if he pays, but I feel somehow that I also need to give the next time. So this is how my mindset is at the moment. So even if I don't pay for the dinner next time, I pay for the drinks. But I also put my footprint somehow.
Yeah, yeah. No, I understand you. I'm the same. With my fiance, at first he's French, as you know, but you don't. So he's French, and in France, men have a tendency to pay, or to offer at least to pay for the first date. And I think my poor thing also learned his lesson dating a Spaniard, because I had the same feeling. I felt in debt, meaning, okay, you pay the first, but I have to pay the second. I have to. I don't know why. It's really engraved in my head. I cannot let it go. So now, of course, we've been years together, and now he's used to it. So we just share. But at first, it was something. It was a bit tricky. He felt bad because he wanted to pay, and I was like, no, I just don't. I cannot feel comfortable with you paying all the time, because also I feel like, and this is going to maybe be a bit polemic, but the paying first, or being the man always paying, comes from a time where women didn't work. And so it made sense back then. It made sense that women passed from belonging to their family to kind of belonging to a man, let's face it, back then. So they did not have their own salary, their own means to just survive. So it would make sense that the guy pays for everything. That's it. But we were not raised like that. We are not a generation that is like that. And some of my friends earn more than her boyfriends. So how do you justify still having that? For me, also, it feels very selfish towards men, because it's like, okay, so maybe I'm even making more than you do, but you're paying for my things. Come on, that feels wrong. But I know that in some places, this is a matter of cultural, heritage and stuff, so I'm not going to go into there, but my reflection is, come on, girls, start paying also, it's okay. You can also have them. Men like to be well treated, and men it's true, men like the surprises, and men like to feel that they are loved and taken care of. It's just that they will never tell you, because manlyhood, but they do like it. So you can also be the one paying first. Why not? So
they're also human beings like us.
They have feelings, they like things,
they also cry.
They cry, they like cuddles, they are humans.
They love.
Yes. So let's not forget that they are not just bank accounts, okay? And then second, we've had a conversation of the podcast about this. Horoscope.
My specialty.
Please, enlighten us.
So horoscope. Yeah, this might be polemic as well because I remember dating some people. And for my curiosity, because I'm a very curious person, I was asking, just tell me, when are you born? Some people, they got the idea that I'm asking so that I want to understand what signs, what zodiac sign they are. Others, they were just like, poor things, they were just telling me their date, and I was like, aha, so you are a Cancer. I see, a water sign. I already could see from the way you behave.
Oh yeah. What do you have against Cancer?
But yeah, the horoscope for me works this way. Horoscope is an indication of some aspects of the way you behave, or some aspects from your how you portray yourself in a lot of situations. And horoscope for me, let's start like this. It's just five counts for me 5% out of the identity of a person. A person comes with education, with culture, with whatever, so many other features. So when I talk about horoscope, I'm thinking about general characteristics of that zodiac sign. For me, because I know the difference between the zodiac signs, I realize when someone it's part of the group of the fire zodiac signs, because they are more out there, they are more energetic, they are more fiery. You can see the fire in them, like me. Or you can see air signs, they are very like talkative and cheeky. Or you can see the water signs, that they are more emotional, they are more connected with feeling based. Or you see the earth sign that are more grounded. You see I see differences in them. And of course the zodiac sign like this, it's you have a star, yeah, that star sign is your zodiac sign. But that thing, like with the moment you were born, the stars were aligned in a certain way, and in that area you were born, it's very important to calculate your birth chart. So for instance, if I'm an Aries and that's a fire sign, and my birth chart it's full of water, meaning that, for instance, Venus being the planet of love would be in the sign of Cancer, and Mercury being the planet of communication is in the sign of Pisces. I communicate specifically to this kind of characteristics of these signs. So it's interesting to see how people behave based on these things as well. Of course, I'm not going to guide myself all my life on this, but it's just curiosity on how people behave having this kind of signs. So, being on first dates, I usually asked, to be honest, and some people got irritated by my questions. Others were like,
They got irritated.
Yes.
They got angry at you.
we were like, why are you asking me this? Now you're gonna judge me because I'm this sign or that sign. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna judge you. It was just pure curiosity. I mean, all the signs, they match at one point. It's really because of the birth chart, because the birth chart helps with the other signs, you know. It's like it's deep. But other people were like, yeah, but I'm a Sagittarius, but I don't believe in zodiac signs. And I was like, okay, that's fine, it's okay. You don't have to believe in it. It's just like astrology is a science and people don't understand it. That's it. This is what makes me also irritated. I'm like, I'm not gonna judge you because you are this sign. I'm just curious. If you want to share, okay. If you don't, okay, again. But astrology is a science. That's it. And I'm very interested in that. And by the way, my boyfriend is a Pisces. I'm an Aries. People that know astrology might say, this is not a match. But again, depending on the birth chart and on the placements that you have in the birth chart, it might be a match. So it's not always the star signs that have to match, but the rest of the things. So we match. Because I have a lot of water in my birth chart. So he's also water and etc. So like air, etc. So Yeah, that's it. So that's an intro in.
This is the moment in which part of our public will start choosing sides.
Or they dropped already listening to the podcast.
Because I'm going to be the polemic one and say, I don't believe in horoscope. So let me explain. So, okay. I do know, well, I do know now because my entire life I thought I was Gemini and apparently I'm Cancer because I was born right in between. And according to the hour, I'm Cancer. So I do kind of understand that depending on where you are born and when your development in the uterus of your mother takes place because of astronomy, maybe there are certain characteristics in the growth that you have that might affect your growth. But for me, that stops in the moment you're born, if that makes any sense. And this is not scientific, but this is how I am trying to understand horoscope. So for me, it's like, okay, maybe because you were born in certain time, or the magnetism of the moon, and maybe that affects. But I do not believe that in the moment you're born will determine the rest of your life. Because I feel like it's a very simplistic way of like placing someone, meaning how can two people coming from, let's imagine that two people were born at the same time on the same day in the same year, okay? But one comes from a violent family and the other one comes from a very well-established family, very loving. Those two people will differ completely. And it has nothing for me to do with their horoscope, but the exposition they have to their lives. And I also reinforce this because, like this belief I have, because I always have this example. So apparently my fiance and I are told that apparently we match because we are Cancer and Taurus. I don't know. Taurus. Yeah. Tauro in Spanish. And apparently those match. Okay, good. Good. We match on there. But I was told once when my friend Marian told me, besito, my friend Marian did this like chart to me and she read everything, my moons and stuff. And she told me, like, the love that you will feel with this sign is the maximum amount of love you will feel with anyone else. And that was Sagittarius. Which back then it kind of resonated because I had a very complicated thing with someone I really loved who was Sagittarius. But honestly, it's been the most toxic thing. I'm not going to call it relationship because it was never a relationship, but it was a thing. It was the most toxic thing I've ever had with someone. Ever. It fucked me over from tip to toe, like awful. So there is this point in which you're like, okay, but this is bullshit. That's not, no, because that what I felt with that person, it's not love. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and so I don't know. I feel like you have to give a chance to how the person is.
But of course, this is what I said, that for me, this is 5% of the identity of that person. Yeah. You come with a background, you come with an education, with a culture, you come with, you grow throughout the years, you understand, I mean, you develop differently. So for me, it's not that I'm guiding myself after that, because for me, the match was a Sagittarius. I dated a guy that was Sagittarius. Fire between us, amazing. Fireworks at one point, and then very much fire. Because culturally we did a match. The way I was thinking, the way he was thinking, of course I cannot guide myself on that. Of course not. Only that. I don't analyze this necessarily from the relationship point of view, but like human point of view. It's part of the human nature, and whoever understands what I understand through astrology is like there are some characteristics specific. Okay, I'm not saying now that, for instance, all Virgos are detail-oriented people, but the majority are, or like, I don't know, Scorpios are very intense and passionate, but they never show. So things like that. But like this is like some general characteristics that I like to observe, and it's nice. It's like, for me, it's like social experiments, Yeah. So that's
yeah. No, but for me, I understand your point. I was more going into the people who really block you as a friend, as a everything. I've met a lot of people who really judge you out of your sign or whatever, and it's like,
Let's not exaggerate. Let's not exaggerate.
yeah. But do you have this feeling that there is a tendency to go hardcore in this belief and take decisions based on your horoscope nowadays? Because I at some point I saw a growth on this. I saw kind of an obsession in a part of society.
Maybe, but I don't feel like it's that powerful though. Me, I never did that. And I think that's you should not go hardcore with anything. It's just like have a balance between everything. Like analyze the availability in emotions, in being present, in how they think, how they behave. There are so many other things that you can be obsessed with, but this should not be one of them. I don't think, maybe it was during the pandemic when there was this trend with all the psychotherapy and psychological and neuroscientist podcasts, and also astrology was also one of the rising topics that were in top, but I don't think people really put accent into this, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now I would like to touch a touchy topic, which I, over the years in Brussels, have seen that it's kind of a topic for the EU bubble, which is faithfulness. Let me explain myself.
Drum rolls.
Okay. I know what you're thinking. Oh my God, they're gonna go into... Yes, we are going into the classic...
Infidelity cases.
We are going into the perception of a classic monogamous couple, okay? We're not going into... If you are polyamorous, open-minded, open-hearted, whatever, I don't care. It's not that. It's for monogamous people who are supposed to be exclusive. I don't understand what is the issue. I don't know if it's something in society, and just because I grew on my 20s kind of in Brussels, in the EU bubble already, and I dived into my 30s in the EU bubble, I feel that this is the EU bubble, but actually it's a reality that is happening everywhere. But I see an increasing amount of unfaithful people when there is no need. Meaning, as we have talked before about paying, and how women didn't have the money back in the day and stuff, it's the same. Before, the divorce did not exist. Mm-hmm. Okay? It was not a thing. In some countries, if you come from a Catholic background, it was not a thing until the 60s, 70s. And couples were very constrained, meaning maybe it was even like a done deal by families, like you were going to marry fulanito because they came from a good family and stuff. But nowadays, we choose who we are with. And there is also a tendency, and I read the other day that actually there are less divorces nowadays because people select really who they want to be with, and because you have tried a lot in the past.
So apps are helping.
Yeah, because actually a bit off topic, but this is something that really surprised me. My French connections, in a way, they told me that in France, forgive me if this is not true, but this was told to me by a French. In France, there is this normality in men and women just trying things in their 20s. They try around. Basically, they are like what in some countries could be promiscuous. In France is very normal because they want to know what they really want. And then at some point in your 30s, you know what you want to go for, and then you dive into it. So the possibilities of divorce are lessened, which I find super healthy, to be honest. It's such a healthy mentality. But that's why, for me, it was surprising to see that people who were not married, who were like not even in like family situations, were just dating, they were so unfaithful. Just because, for example, I've seen people dating others and finding out that they were not faithful because they were with other friends of mine. And I was the one knowing that this person was unfaithful, but I couldn't tell anyone because, well, it was complicated. You know what I mean? And I've seen several like that. Huh? I'm not saying, oh yeah, just two cases. No, no, more than my fingers can count. And wow, it's a bit creepy. Why do you think it is? Do you have the same feeling?
I mean, infidelity has been here since the beginning of this world. So it's nothing new for me. I grew up in an environment where infidelity was present. So I learned from a child that this is not how I would like to see, because I saw what infidelity could bring: sadness, depression, a lot of frustration, and etc. Chaos. But I will never. I mean, I cannot understand, because my mind works this way. If I'm with a partner and things don't go anymore as they should, I'm definitely trying to speak with that partner to try to make things work. If those things don't work, we're gonna go to separate paths. But why going into infidelity directly? I mean, it's, for me, infidelity, both from a man or from women, comes from a lot of insecurity. It comes from a lot of unsolved things that people have to address. If you want to have fun, okay, have fun. But have fun, I don't know, it's either your partner agrees that you can have threesomes or whatever you want, or otherwise have fun before or after your relationship. If you don't want that person anymore, just don't waste your time and the other person's time by being there and you being unfaithful and living your life because maybe you didn't live it 5 years before. Just be mature and accountable for what your actions are. So for me, infidelity is like, it could be eradicated if people are really responsible and aware of their feelings and aware of their patterns. But well,
Yeah. No, I understand you, because I also come from a background of having lived the problems of infidelity and what it caused in my family. And I honestly, I always have the same perspective. You really need to be careful of the decisions you take, because first, sometimes people take decisions a bit in the heat, meaning you maybe are not going through a good time with your partner. Maybe there are some ongoing issues, I don't know, money wise, family wise, kids wise, whatever. And then you feel disconnected. But I think that you also have to look at the broader perspective and see, okay, why did I want to be with this person in the first place? Because that is also very important. Did you go with that person that you are with because of the heat of the moment, the beginning, the romanticism and stuff, or because you really felt like that person was your center? And then once you have that figured out, I would ask you, do you want to ruin that? Is the person that you are about to cheat with on your partner going to give you something good aside from a bit of a flirty moment, maybe some wild sex, I don't know.
or ego boost.
Like, take into account what you're ruining. Because really, like, there is an investment also of your time, of your energy, of everything. And if you want to be selfish, if you don't want to be selfish, also think about the person that you're cheating on. But really, for me, it's very easy. Just leave that person. Clean cut. Like, if you're not feeling happy with someone, which is fair enough, things tend not to work sometimes, just talk things out, talk things through, and then split. And I'm not going into, no, but that person found out someone 2 months after splitting. Yeah, but they split. So for me, that's done deal. That person is free, they can do whatever they want. But while you're in a relationship, come on, just be a bit, I don't know, responsible and empathetic with the feelings of the other. So for me, that's something that I always I always talk to my fiance about it. Like, listen, let's never even go there. Like, if we ever have issues into the future, we have kids and we don't feel like we love each other anymore, just let's talk things through. I know that he's not the cheater type. I know that a lot of people have said this, but we have always been very honest about it because he knows where I come from, and he knows that that is also things that I prefer to be alone than being with a cheater, honestly. But really, it saddens me to see so many people around me in some cases that are very problematic and complicated happening just for boredom. I don't know, call it X. I don't know. I cannot get into people's minds, but it's very sad to see.
And on a more positive note, what I knew before my relationship now, it's that a relationship between two people, being it like if you see it as have a partnership, or I don't know, it should feel easy. It should feel natural. It should be with love, with respect, with a lot of patience, with a lot of communication. The other person holds the mirror for you. You can see a lot of your ups and downs, your flaws, your etc. So it's just like, it's a constant work. When you stop working and putting energy into that relationship, you will see how things already start to shaken up. That's it. I mean, we have to understand a relationship is not based only on sex and okay, let's eat and have a walk. No, you have to be there for the other person in the lows and the highs. You have to see the so many different faces of that person, because we are humans, and today maybe I'm fine, and tomorrow maybe I'm waiting for my menstruation, and I'm telling you the hormones are playing with me. So you have to like, as a partner or as a boyfriend or a husband, etc., you have to be there for the other person, and vice versa. The woman has to be also, or like whatever in a relation. So it's presence, it's awareness, it's communication, and especially whatever feels uncomfortable, this is where you have to go and uncover that uncomfortable, because in the uncomfortable lies your growth, and lies the link between the two partners. So it's either you want to be involved in that thing, but you have to be 100%, and sometimes even 200. When the other person cannot give you 100, you have to help them. So it's being present. The moment you don't do that, it means that you have to analyze a bit yourself and see if you want to move on or just work more on that. But there are always solutions before infidelity or any other shitty behavior that you can see in a relationship.
And as you said, on a positive note, if you guys or girls have been cheated on and you want to dedicate an amazing song to your ex-partner, Rosalia has released her new CD, which is a piece of art, like everything Rosy does. And there is a song, I don't know if you heard, this is for the Spanish-speaking community, maybe this resonates. There is a singer that is called Paquita la del Barrio from Latin America, who released a song in the 2000s, which is called Rata de dos patas.
I love
it. So it's like rat of two legs. And that song is like I cannot read the lyrics because I think we would be blocked forever from Spotify. But just listen to it. Rata de dos patas, Paquita la del Barrio. Well,
that's next level.
Rosalia has released what I think is the Rata de dos patas of our generation. And it's called La Perla. You listen to that song. If you are not Spanish speaking, just put it with the translator, read it, enjoy it, and dedicate it to your ex. And you will feel so much better all of a sudden.
But anyway, whoever cheated on you, that's first of all on them. And second of all, it's a moment of reflection for you to understand that you deserve better all the time. If you've been hurt, you need to know what you deserve. And if you don't think you deserve better, I heard some therapy, but there was something in a podcast said by a coach. Tell your brain a better lie, because the brain doesn't make the difference between reality and imagination. So if you tell the brain that you deserve the love of your life and you deserve to be happy and in peace, like, you have to repeat this, like, really tell your brain this, it might come at one point, but just work with yourself. So the idea is work on yourself, and then you can have a better life with you and with the others around you.
I think you get close.
Yeah. So with this, I think we have to say again thank you for you staying with us this amount of minutes. But wait, I mean, dating, it's such a complex subject, and we will definitely come back in the following season, because dating is always, I feel like you always find subject of discussion on dating. Be it infidelity, being who pays for the first date, being let's use app, still not use app, AI is taking over this sector as well.
We need to talk about AI at some point, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So yeah, dating is definitely a subject that is always gonna be top for a lot of people, because it's one of the most common subjects in people's life. So we are happy that you stayed with us throughout our conversation, and we just want to remind you that you can follow us on Instagram, talk.brussels, and you can also see us on YouTube, and now with Spotify, where you can also follow us. You can also see our live video, live now, but video recording. And with this, we just want to say, have a good dating life. Enjoy, exactly. If you still didn't get the love of your life or your soulmate or whatever, by the way, at the end of last year, I wrote my how do you call them, the wishes for next year, and I wrote on the list, I'm gonna meet my soulmate. And anyway, this year I met my boyfriend, and we were a match from the beginning. So of course, whoever believes in soulmates, etc., but everything is possible. But by saying this, I want to say I worked a lot of myself, and I knew in the end what I deserve, and then...
And you created the space for that person to go. That happened to me too.
Exactly. So you are the creator of your own life. Thank you, and see you next. Bye!